Good morning, good afternoon, my dear brothers and sisters, my friends, all the people who follow me, Ah, what term shall I use? Life is not fair. The world is such a wicked world like that. I'm not trying to be very philosophical. There is this tendency in our culture back in Eritrea and Ethiopia, because our society are more pious. What is this? This Roman man is a pious, one of his pope, but it came into a war, It's a pious, kind of like a very conservative. So there's this philosophical thought, the world is such a wicked place, no worth to live with it, so all our religious leaders, they just forsake the whole world and go to the monastery to lead life there in the monasteries, okay? So they become like hermits, like monks, and that's the tradition in Eritrea and Ethiopia. Like this been going for so many thousands of years, In fact, that's one of the bases of what we have all these 7 9 saints coming from Constantinople. Some of them from royal families like Amna Ragawi, Bagarima, all of them, So that was in the 3rd BC. So that's the value. But that kept us glued together, my friend, as a society. It's one of the most well-established ancient kingdoms, Eritrea and Ethiopia, for over how many thousand? 2,000? More than that, 3,000. That kept us together as a happy family, Not a lot of greed, but stable, That's what you need in life, my friend. That's what's all about. No matter how powerful you are, how rich you are, all the power, the prestige, all this money accumulation, everything of governments, states, that's for the stability of their nations, so that there is no such inflation or deflation or that kind of stuff, always living as stable, uniform, my friend, not just going up and skyrocket and go to deepest valley, but uniform, my friend. So straight, So that helped us to have that stable life, all these centuries, all this world. Catastrophe after catastrophe, all this disease after disease, affliction, like this what's it, all these black plagues that happened in Europe, it didn't affect us that much, and so it did help us a lot, my friend. The fact that we have that stability mindset of our belief system, and that served us very well, So overall, it's for our own good. But the greed of the West is coming, haunting the whole world. It is coming to us, my friend, and we're losing our mind, our society, So that over 2,000, 3,000 years stability is factoring now because of this greed. The whole world is being on fire because of all these Europeans, Americans, greed for fuel, energy, gas, my friend, irresponsibility. So it's coming to us. Anyway, so when I initially came into this country, I was very young, very vulnerable guy. So they put me into this Clara de Port hotel somewhere in Edgeware Road, this little Venice, okay? Venice, my friend. Venice is not all about gondola and you take with your babe, with your boat, Always. It's not only that, my friend. There's a really ugly story to it, That was the capital of the slave trade market of the whole world, Venice, okay? So they put me near this area called Little Venice Road in Edgeware Road, okay? What Little Venice means? Venice, man. Slavery. So in that hotel, I used to meet a lot of very interesting characters, my friend. One of these guys was Menna Lemma. He used to kind of put all this detergent. Another one was Hapte. Hapte was an urbanite guy, very smart guy. Meaning people who just say I'm not feeling well, but he's normal, like, all these people, So because I wanna cut my story short, like I think Mr. Arafat brother, his career is gonna be on the line, my friend. So when I was living in this hotel, we initially, I think, no, the first floor, they put me there, right there, and they brought this Yemeni guy, no, an Arab guy. He used to put a lot of gel, black hair. He used to paint his hair. So he was only coming like maybe 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the night. Okay, my roommate. Then after him, they brought this Sudanese guy, very tall guy. He used to cook himself. He was very, very organized because we used to have shared kitchen. I think it was in the first floor, second floor. Every floor used to have our shared kitchen. Okay, so this Sudanese guy, very tall, kind of like bit, like light skin, very tall guy. He only speaks Arabic. I think he must have some kind of like college level understanding about English and his European background. Okay, that was his second. The third one, they brought this Ababa boy called Enoch. Enoch used to put a lot of gel in his hair. He used to put this Levi's kind of. And interestingly, that time, a lot of people, Eritrean Ethiopians, came from South Africa. Okay, so people like Wase, Dawit was Tigrayan extraction. Okay, and his older brother Solomon. I used to meet him somewhere in Brixton. So Ganano, another what's it called? This Guragi guy. So Abush, I think he was into kind of like cancer. I think I'm not 100% sure whether he's still alive or not. So a lot of them, often all this team. So they came from South Africa via business. Okay, Daniel Tadesse, he's still my friend. Binem, his friend, everything. Okay. So these people, my friend, they used to watch movie, Ice Cube, or like Wesley, and they used to say like life is a biatch, kind of like all this Harlem kind of movie that you watch from the American Hollywood movies. So shall I say life is a biatch? I like that term, my friend. Just truly kind of ghetto language, but it does the job. Anyway, so that time, I think for short, I used to go to college somewhere in Elgin Avenue. No, in Medieval. So there was a very famous episode. One of this principal was shot by his students. Number one. So in that hotel, I had a bit of a thing with a really big lady. I think she was Oromo. Her brother was a very good friend of mine. What's his name? Getana. He's a bus driver now. Okay. So his circle of friends used to be Daniel, another guy, this country, the immigration paper. They used to drive his hair, my friend. He was very young that time. My friend, I'm not gonna disclose his name, very good friend of mine. So Getana, Arafine, another Eritrean guy, a bit kind of chubbish, Alfosh, receding hair. He used to live there. So Arafine, they took him to a hostel, kind of like a place called in Kilburn. Kill and burn them kind of thing, because I'm gonna come back to that story. So I met this lady, or more kind of like big chubby lady, brown face, she was really massive. She used to live in first floor, third floor. Marvin, what did a man has to do what he has to do? A man, because I'm straight homosexual, I'm straight heterosexual guy, Marvin. Okay, so I had to do it. Okay, but at the same time, I was really feeling nasty, Marvin, because Marvin, desperation, young guy, Marvin, trying to call as a woman. So this guy, we used to share a room. He's from Mandafra. His name was Kidane, because this advisor had told me you have to give this ELF Eritrean Liberation Fund a case as your immigration asylum. That was when I was in detention in 1995. January, some of my family members told us, there's a local guy from our area and he's very famous in London, so they brought me his number. Okay, so he told me I have to put this Kidane Kuflu, and I have to be a member of this ELF under Kidane Kuflu, and will I give all this team, my friend, I don't have no clue what I'd say, so the immigration officer was just kind of cross-examining me, I was really nervous, so that was the story. It was framed me and put me in a prison system for 30 years, okay? So this Kidane Kuflu was a guy, I think he's one of these Eritrean Addis Ababa University students. He's original from Mandafura City, okay? So this Gitane, because it's very important, okay? So what's his wife now called? I think it's Nguso. So Kidane was my roommate in fourth floor. He used to share, he was very organized. Like, I think he was somewhere 32, 34 maximum years old. He was much mature. He came from Sudan. So we used to share room, and that time I was 20 years old, mind you, okay? Very vulnerable, very young guy. I was trying to attend this college. I was attending this medieval college. I wanted to be a doctor, to try to study medicine, but at last I found out, no, it's not me. I'm not gonna be always working with blood and pain and everything like that. So I just dropped out. So while we were living in the first floor, so I slept with this Oromo lady. So Kidane, kind of like that, he jumped and took her, my friend. I think like kind of he wanted to feel kind of like a big macho kind of, like, I snatched the woman out of him. Actually, I was relieved, So he slept with her. The morning, he was found dead. Okay, it's really the most freaking thing. But now, in retrospective, it makes sense, okay? Because his name is Kidane. And he's from Mandafara. And the immigration asylum case this is Faisal had gave me is about Kidane Kulu, the guy who was killed in Sudan. Okay? This name is very important. The guy was very charismatic, I think, this Kidane Kulu, according to what I read from this guy. Whatever this Hoover Institute think tank employee in America, his name is Isaias Waldemaremo and that kind of stuff. So I just heard all the interview and everything. So this Kidane, he slept with this young lady. That the morning he was found dead. Okay. So Daniel Tadese came early in the morning, knocked the door, and I was freaking out. It was somewhere around 4:30 or 5 in the morning. Daniel Tadese, okay, now he lives in Brixton. He told me, hey, yo, come on, man. He was crying, and Kidane was found dead. Like, I don't know how to take it. Like, I said, where? And he told me, like, he was sleeping with a lady. Then I found out, like, I just had that thing with a lady, like, So I had that mixed emotion at the same time, like, it's really very scary, but that hotel was really depressing hotel. Then he passed away. So Kidane used to work at Ijo Road, near the junction where the other road takes you to Notting Hill Gate, straight to Hyde Park from that side, this Albert Theatre, Albert. What is this music they do the concert, okay? The other road takes it to kind of works Seymour Road, all this, to Central and towards Road London, okay? That's the junction. There used to be this Arab shop. There used to be, it's like this proper grocery shop, and Kidane used to work there for so long, like that's there was another Djibouti guy working with him, so like and it was a very complicated story. Anyway, but I found out now. Okay, so later on they put this. The only person I haven't met since I left from Liberia is Arafine. Okay, Arafine, light skinned guy, very chubby, kind of a bit fat. He didn't sound like he was kind of like an urban city boy. So in Eritrea, they put this Arafine as agriculture minister. Okay, because it's kind of like interlinked. So this Kidane Kulu is going to shape my life for all these 30 years, because that was the asylum case I give to this Home Office immigration people in this country, okay? So they locked me forever for 30 years. Okay, so that Kidane, the guy who did, that is the reason. Now I can find out. It's like this detective, forensic science man, try to piece out all the information, like, if you are business intelligence analyst, and you try to kind of like put together the whole information to make a single line story. That's the story. So this Arafine vanished. He was living in this Killed and Born hotel somewhere in Kilburn, okay? Bit far from that. Maybe 1 kilometer. It's not that far. Then after that, I don't know. Vanished. I have never seen him forever. I think this Mr. Arafine job car is gonna be online now, okay? So this was the reason why they locked me all these 30 years. They kept me like a hostage, as a prisoner of war. for something that, I don't have nothing to do with energy and politics, my friend. This is a guy, very ambitious guy. I wanted to come to UK because I wanted to come to UK, my friend. I loved it, I want to study and, make, to craft my own life. No interest in all these political games, But this is the story, my friend. So this is what happened. He was always keeping me hostage, taking me everywhere. When I go to the GP, he has to go with me. When I go to work, he has to be called. Everything. My life was local. So you can't say he's one of these black hole or this what's his name? Stephen Hawking. They say about this black hole. So this guy, they put black hole in a black dark world. So he was pulling everything to the black hole. Everyone eats the guy, okay? He eats everyone. So, so this is half machine and half kind of human being, really cold man. Okay, so when I came into this area where I was living, he used to call me to his governors or this big old retired pensioners, they were saying they give money to that charity, all that kind of stuff. So they used to take this meeting in Archbishop Sumner, Church of England Primary School in Kennington Road. Okay, so that was taking every 2 weeks. So I was going with him because he wanted me to lead him, but in fact, he was driving me, circling me from every side. So during one of this meeting, every day, the very vocal lady was, I think, former principal of the primary school. She's an old retired English lady, short hair. So if she see me with my kids every time, she has to be around the bus stop. Okay. So the other one was a guy who was called Alan. I think he was kind of like this homosexual, everything. He's very flirtish, So this, that's why he's from Basalama village. Okay. So the electoral ambassador to EU is called Negasi Kasa, okay, from a village called Maharga. So they brought this lady called Fisahat Ame. So her dad had this cafe shop in Adaya called Sport Cafe. Okay. So she is like Alena, and in fact she wrote a book. So Alena, when she says Alena, she's talking about Alan, the guy I'm saying about this guy who was attending this governors meeting with this, that's why it's every fortnightly. Now he used to take me to the school. Okay, that is number one, Alan. Okay, second Alan is the guy who was my line manager when I was employed for British Medical Association, BMA. So BMA can be translated into British military administration. That is the 10 years time they stayed. The British stay in our country. It's called BMA administration. BMA. So from BMA of Eritrea, I came to BMA, British Medical Association. Okay. The line manager was called Alan Sugar. No, Alan Waters. Alan Waters. Okay. The other one was called Colin Davis. Okay. So that is from June 2001 to July 2002. Okay. So that's the second Alan. The third Alan is this Brixton College IT guy, Caribbean guy, bald-headed black man. And I think he told me recently, I met him somewhere in Wordsworth. He told me he did some theology. He's retired. So he was the head of the IT training, so during my college, Brixton College from 97, 99, I was always in the lab, my friend, working always on my assignment, my project, everything. Even during my university, because it's close to my house, I used to take that. So 3 Alans, okay? This Alan, the guy, this is what I used to take the meeting with, this charity board meeting every fortnightly. Alan Waters, the guy at the British Medical Association, and Lane Allen, this Brixton guy. Okay, so this lady, Irga Allen Fessa was saying, Alena, that's politics, my friend. So that's why I say life is a biatch kind of thing, So look at how they trapped me. The whole thing, there is no room for me to escape. Hadn't I known? This guy was the guy who was striking me from every side. This black hole, my friend. Okay? This black Stephen Hawking's kind of half machine, half human being. Work craftsmanship. I wouldn't have escaped, my friend. So this Arafine, this kind of Arafine is like this, what's it? That's Horus, my friend. Okay? An evil eye. He was watching. When you see people showing you their watch, means I'm watching you. Okay? Similar like this cathedral watchtower on this bed. And was I'm watching you, I'm watching. It's Horus, my friend. His name is Arafine, meaning my eyes is always on you, resting on you. I'm watching you like this providence eye. In America, they call it like this pyramid eye. And evil eye always watching you. That's what means a refiner. So this guy was a refiner who used to live with us, Clarendon Court Hotel in 1995, then went to Kilburn. Then ever since I haven't seen him. So I met this guy, Daniel. I meet this guy, Getnet, okay? The brother of the lady that Kidan slept with. But this guy vanished, my friend. So Atlas is all about leadership to make this Kidane crew. Always life has to revolve around that time. For our martyrs, people have to be martyred again for this Kidane crew. That was the story that was always trapping, my friend. I was used like this little vulnerable kid from Eritrea to make this Kidane crew name so big. I have to die for it. My blood has to be sacrificed so that I can be a martyr. Okay, so that's why life is a bitch. Have a lovely day, guys. Okay, bye. I just put all the in the text and enjoy. Okay, bye.